Like, as D Whatever was saying, up next, Puncayshun versus Cheese. I mean, what are we going to see from this? Like, I know Punkay has been on stream a ton running 70-star. I know Cheese has been pushing 70-star as well, mixing in a little 120 there.
A little 120, a little bit of randomizer, you know.
I mean, watching these guys, you know, that have traded world record, you know, what was that, about a year ago, just going back and forth. What are you expecting coming out of this?
Oh, man. I know it's going to be a very, very close race. Both of them are, over the years, have just gotten so much better at racing, and especially with the league running, a lot of players have gotten a lot more consistent, being able to minimize mistakes and maximize the sort of recoveries coming back from big mistakes. So I'm expecting some crazy good gameplay. I'm expecting a couple, perhaps, big slip-ups. I mean, after that last race, that's D Whatever versus Ouija, two of the top 70-star players, and we saw some crazy bluffs.
And I'm going to say it over and over, the dynamic of just being here.
Yes.
You know, that changes a ton. You know, even for us, like, you know, me, I'm normally sitting in the booth at home getting ready to commentate, and I'm able to kind of pick apart and analyze. I can only imagine these guys getting up on stage and doing the same thing.
It's intense.
I know that both of these guys have practiced. Matter of fact, Punkay was doing a 120 7-way relay before he started this, so he's warmed up. The hands are ready to go. I'm excited to see what's going to come here.
He got a 143. Fun fact in the race, and apparently everybody else dropped out.
So wait, so you still win by default, but still get a 143, just casually.
Casually.
That shows Punkay and his dedication for how long he's run the game. But then you've got Cheese on the other side.
You do have Cheese.
Like,
you've got Cheese for sure.
Who can just pop off and out of nowhere, you know, both really consistent players, and this is the battle of the Titans.
Yeah, both of them capable of, I mean, and especially in an event like this, I don't want to say world record, but they've both been grinding for it. It might be possible, but
yeah,
that would be crazy.
Watching them kind of warm up now, looks like Cheese looking at D Whatever's match and in Wet Dry World just to make sure that's the audio you hear right now. Punkay most likely focusing on TTC. That's where I saw him earlier.
You can never have it down enough. That's how I see it. Like, you can always use more practice, more solidifying in TikTok clock, even if you just did like 8 hours of grinding, just to get that boost of confidence.
Imagine if you're the third player in this race, you're going up against Puncayshun and Cheese. What are you thinking about? Are you? We've talked about it's about recovery from mistakes versus, you know, just going as fast as you can. What would you be thinking? How would you be preparing for this?
I mean, practicing the things that I know I'm weak at.
Right.
Making sure everything's solid, going through all the stars, double checking, doing a couple no resets. You know, make sure that everything is sort of oiled up, if you will. But most importantly, just focusing on the task at hand. I've always just kind of seen the game as like one star at a time is the way to go. If you think about it like, oh, I got to do this stage, and oh man, I got this stage next, and then that's all weighing on your mind.
Right.
You've got the crowd watching. You just got to zone out, tunnel vision on the game, execute.
And just execute. Block everything out. And that's tough. That's really tough.
Yeah, much easier said than done.
So what do you think that we're going to see out of this match coming up? Like, where I mean, we have our trouble zones. That's Tippy. But both of these runners being good friends of yours for a long time.
Yes.
Where do you see the trouble points besides the normal Tippy, Dark World, those types of areas?
Well, Cheese actually throughout the league has had some struggle with the throws. Punkay, I think, actually might have the best average out of the top 4. I could be wrong on that stat. But
sure.
Cheese, I think, has the highest average of throws. It's been tough. Especially at the end of the races, both players get very nervous, and all their interviews are always like, oh man, I was so nervous. The nerves just tend to never go away. Maybe in the middle for a little bit, but once you get near the end.
Right. And that's what changes the dynamic for SM64. Like, Super Mario Odyssey, you have the escape, you have the pillars room, and you know, that's That's tough. You can fail things like 2D skip and lose a whole bunch of time, but at the very end, the capstone of Super Mario 64 are Bowser throws.
Yeah.
If you miss the first one, there's no easy way to just, okay, all right, I'm going to hit the second one now.
Yeah.
You miss the first one, it's a lot harder to hit the second and third.
Yeah, players tend to have like 3 bombs that they're looking at.
Right.
Like as soon as you come in, you're like, okay, I'm going to hit that bomb, then I'm going to re-grab him and throw him at that bomb. But if you miss that first throw, then it's sort of just like improv. It's,
right.
It's very uncomfortable. So you want to at least lock down the first one.
Right. Agreed.
Which he's doing a catalog of the upstairs stages, going to Tall Tall Mountain here for a little bit of practice.
And I don't blame him. You know, getting the hands moving, actually holding the controller, doing the level. Because both of these guys I know are nervous.
Oh, of course.
Not just because of everything going on here at PACE, but they know that these guys are about equal. Like,
yeah, you couldn't get more of an equal matchup, I think, right now in 70 Star. These are the top of the top.
Right. And they want to have that good showing. That's what's super important. So,
D whatever also not only 70 Star legend, but doing some legendary camera work out here, taking some snappy photos, walking off to the side.
And that's what I want to reiterate with GSA putting on this particular event here at Xanadu Games in Laurel, Maryland. All of the folks to bring this together has been phenomenal.
It has been. I was just going to ask you, what do you think so far? PACE 2019.
The very first event, we've got a ton of people here. We have a ton of people watching at home. I don't think that we could have done it any better. I think that everything is, people are really enjoying it.
Yeah.
You know. Speaking of that, too, the prize pool for these, for every 500 bits donated, GSA is contributing $2.
That's right.
Directly in for the prize pool. For subs, $2. And then for donations, they just go right into the prize pool directly.
Yeah, if you want to just jack up the prize pool, you can go ahead and slap it right in.
Slap it.
Donation, slap it right in, dude.
We know how much Simply loves bits.
I love bits.
Loves bits.
It's true.
So drop those bits in there, sub and get those awesome emotes, or donate directly to the prize pool and show these guys some support, because this is not easy.
Not at all. It's been a learning process for all of us associated with GSA, learning as we go.
It's years of dedication for the runners as well, just sitting there. And I mean, imagine we've seen things like Lunar Jump, who's an amazing 16-star god there, grind out Dark World for 8 hours without stopping.
The dedication.
The dedication that it comes from learning a speed run. When I picked up speed running, I thought, hey, this is easy. You know, I could do that. I could do a 70 and get a 55. No problem. And then 4 months later, you're like, wow, this is a lot harder than what I thought it was going to be. You know,
they make it look very easy.
We're finalizing things up here on the stage now.
We are.
So this is round 4 at this time. So we have 4 people remaining. We just saw 2 of those. Ouija and D, whatever. We've got Puncayshun and Cheese going up now. And we're just going to do this round robin over the next couple of days.
That's right.
At the end, though, it's a best of 3. So that's 3 back-to-back 70-star runs.
Potentially.
But still, imagine you going into it knowing, all right, we've got those nerves going. You know, the adrenaline's pumping. All right, I won my first one. But we're not done.
Yeah.
We're going for a second one.
It's a marathon. And it's definitely not easy. Like, no resets. I personally find like a race or no reset can be quite exhausting. Especially if it's not going your way. It can be very taxing. And so to do up to 3 races back to back, it starts to not only test a player's ability to play the game, but an ability to keep the focus.
Right.
Yeah.
And they've got to keep the focus in this particular stage, or I'm sorry, in this particular league. You're awarded points for winning, but then you're awarded points for being as close as possible.
Right.
So you get a total of 60 points for winning, but then there's an additional 30 up for grabs. So you don't want to just quit after you win. You want the times to be close, because every 10 seconds, that's going to take a point away from the loser and give to the winner. And so you want it to be close. At home, You hit that reset button, you hit that space bar, and you get on to the next run. Here, you don't have that opportunity.
Yeah.
So it's tough.
Definitely. Yeah, we saw, I think, Do Whatever, that was 62 points for him in the bag, and Ouija landing the other 28.
But it's tough. Both of these guys posting their worst times in the entire league.
Yeah.
And I think that pace has, that's part of the reason with the nerves and things.
For sure.
But, why else do you think that would be? Like, posting worse times, other than having the people here.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, maybe it's not playing on your home turf. You're playing that away game.
There's a lot of factors, right? You got the crowd watching.
Right.
You've got the commentators, and I'm sure, they can, at points, hear maybe a little bit of commentary or the crowd clapping for somebody doing something. And the crowd's actually been doing an awesome job of keeping it kind of cool. Like, typically, especially at an event like GDQ, somebody gets a Lakitu skip or somebody gets bomb clip and everybody go. They go wild. Oh, my goodness, that was insane. Or they get canalus. And, a lot more respectful environment. You don't want to distract them too much. Allow them to focus. But
it's tough to block that out.
Yeah.
You don't have the lazy boy. You're just lounging back and playing the game here.
Definitely not. But I wanted to ask you, favorite part so far of PACE 2019? What do you think?
Favorite part of PACE so far?
Yeah.
Other than commentating with you here in the booth.
Oh, of course.
All right.
That's a given.
The SMO runs earlier.
Yeah?
Oh, my God. The back and forth between, look, all of these guys here. So you've got Chaos, Nicro, Little Curbs, Stravos, all four of these guys, all right, going for sub-hour. So we had that drama for the month and a half. And then going back and forth, seeing that live today and watching that dynamic, heaven, butter. Like butter.
Like butter.
Plus all of the showcases coming up.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know when I'm going to sleep. Like, there's so much cool stuff that's happening here at PACE outside of the leagues. Like Titanfall. I've never seen a Titanfall speedrun.
I didn't even know you could.
I didn't either. So Titanfall, Owlboy.
Titanfall 2, I think.
Yeah, Titanfall 2.
Yeah.
We've got the 2 players, 1 controller, 16-star.
That will be interesting.
Which is going to be phenomenal.
Get some funny clips out of that one, I think.
Yoshi's Island. You've got all of these different games. So it's like you're getting the best of both worlds. You're seeing this league play here, but then you don't know when to sleep. You don't know when to eat. You just want to see everything.
You got to pick and choose. You got to pick your battles here. Unless you don't sleep, then you don't have to pick your battles.
And you don't have to pick anything.
You could just stay here and pick away at your brain cells.
And I'm sure it's still the same. Everybody can check out that schedule down in the bottom. Just click on that. It's nonstop action until Sunday night.
Nonstop, baby. We are keeping it going, chugging along.
All right, so we're going to go ahead and check out a couple of stats talking about these guys. Right now, here's the current leaderboard. D Whatever getting those 62 points, as you said just a minute ago. But Ouija pulling out with 28 points. He was able to get 28 out of 30. So still in there for sure, taking the win. Now, Puncayshun and Cheese. Right here. This is what we talked about. Average throws for Cheese, 3.93. So he's got the worst right now amongst these top 4. And his worst time, the 51.19 compared to Puncayshun, which is a 50.31. But look at this average. I just want to point out Puncayshun. 48s throughout this league.
Yeah. He's been popping them out.
Like, consistently, like it's nothing. You think that a 48 is free, and it's not. It's far from it. A 92.9 win average compared to Cheese's 73.3.
Punkay has been dominating the league. It's actually been pretty crazy. I wasn't expecting it. Before the league started, actually, I think it's worth noting that Punkay was sort of in, sometimes when you're in speedrunning, you kind of have these moments where you're not, things aren't quite going that well.
Right.
Runs might not be going that well. You're not winning races that you happen to do off the cuff. But Punkay is sort of, I think out of the league, he's become like his best version of his racing self.
Oh, yeah. Agreed.
And I've always thought that Punkay was a great racer, but especially since the league has started, he's just been popping off 48s nonstop. The man is a robot. I think he is a robot.
Robot. See.
Pan Jones must get 70 stars in 48 minutes and XX seconds.
And to do that, like that's why he was #1 coming into this. Yeah. That's why. There's no other reason.
He shrugs things off effortlessly. Like, you can see it in a lot of players. You know, we saw it just now with D-Whatever and Ouija, frustrating mistakes, and you can see the frustration, but Punkay, he slips up, shakes it right off, dusts it off his shoulder, keeps moving.
Oh, yeah. And that's tough. That's the hardest part of speedrunning. And that race mentality that you were talking about, being able to shrug things off, is why it's different from just PBing. A lot of newer runners to racing just like walk in the door and say, you know what, I got a 48. This is going to be easy.
Mm-hmm.
But when you don't have that option to hit that reset button, it changes your perspective on everything that you do.
Yeah, that I think that's been the most interesting part of the league, is that for so long, speedrunning has been centered about world record.
Right.
Who has the world record? Okay, you're resetting. You reset 100 times today, but
Right.
you got the world record, so you are number one, like undisputed, insane time. But now there's this new lane that's come out. Go! Woo! And we are off.
Started now.
But now the value of the racer is going up with things like GSA's league.
It is.
And it's interesting to see how players are adapting to this environment. You know, we're seeing some players drop some strats that might be you'd go for in a world record attempt because it's risky, but it saves time. But in a race, and I mentioned this in the last race, it's not so much about saving the 0.2 or 0.3 on a strat over a player.
It's not. It's I don't know. I can't even put into words what I'm thinking. But the PBs don't matter. You know, it's not just about you. It's not just you going against you, I guess is what I'm trying to say. It's about you versus this other person. And if you look at the bottom left and bottom right of your screen, these are the best of the best.
Two beautiful men.
Absolutely.
There's layers to it. We got a nice onion here. But here we go. We did see two missed Lakitu skips. Can the best of the best get it? And there it is.
Boom.
Very
easy.
nice.
Too easy.
Very, very nice.
Heading in for bomb clip.
Yeah.
Now, what is your opinion? We have seen in this league not only bomb clip, but island hop.
Oh,
That's that swag. I think.
that is that swag. And for those of you unaware, you can get another star here. We have in the last race we saw both players come back for it with the wing cap, but you can get that star without a wing cap, and it's using a strat called island hop, which is very difficult.
Very difficult.
I don't anticipate anybody going for it since the stakes are so high here, but it saves about, I want to say, I always say 10 seconds, but I think it's closer to 8 or 9. Commentator, not really sure.
Kitchen sink right here.
It's a sterling silver. And it's filtered water.
It is.
You got to love it.
It is. Not that Aquafina stuff.
Man, can we just talk about Aquafina for a second?
Sure.
I don't want to like bash them, but I
No.
don't know what it is. I just can't do it.
I can't either.
It's Ice Mountain for me, or bust.
Ice Mountain or bust.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Here's the slides. What are you thinking? I'm thinking 12.7.
I'm thinking, no, I think 12.6 from cheese. Nope,
Ooh.
12.6. I had it backwards.
All right.
Commentator had the script upside down. That's what the issue was.
Gonna go ahead and flip that back around, though. We definitely want to stick to the, well, there's not a script, right? So we don't gotta worry about that. But so here it is, Womp Fortress. We saw it get kind of messy out here, mostly on the 100, which, although Womps is difficult in general, I mean, Owlus is a bit tricky. 100 is definitely the one that stands out. The cycle is very hard to make, and actually, Punkay's been opting for a slightly slower movement to secure the cycle, which I think makes a pretty big statement about the racing mentality.
It does.
You know, in fact, oh, okay, bonking up on the Piranha. She's going for Canalus.
Okay, going for Atlas.
Nice.
And this is where we see that mentality of who does what star win. So typically when folks are going for their PB, they'll try to get that 100 out of the way because, I mean, there's a lot of room for error on that 100.
Mm-hmm.
But we've seen such a dynamic here in the league that where you see like what you just saw, where Cheese went ahead and went for Canalus, Punkay went for Alice, and now we're going to swap. Ooh, Cheese missing. Alice.
Oh, going for a double jump there. Having some heavy bonks from Cheese, but in the
there.
cage. That can be a bit sweaty.
It can.
can get very sweaty very quick.
Unless you're Ouija, then you just get up there with the double jump.
Yeah, that
and
was
you're good.
insane.
And you're good.
We just kind of brush it off, but Ouija does some crazy strats, and here it is, Punkay opting for the slightly slower strat, but he's pretty much guaranteed the cycle. But Cheese is going to stick to his guns.
All right.
But this is where you value consistency over speed.
Right.
You know, do I want to lose 10 seconds or do I want to lose 2 seconds?
And it's almost a gamble, too, because you don't know what your opponent's going to end up going for. They could go for something that's more risky and not get it, or they could go for something that's more risky and faster and get it.
Yeah, and Cheese actually getting it, so saving a couple seconds over Punkay, but still down from the Owlus. Oh, and that wall is giving Cheese some trouble. Might have been patched. But figures it out. Very nice 100s otherwise from both players.
Looking good.
There
I mean, and that's where you know that you're running really optimal, when the commentators are having to point out these like small, minute details, because you rarely see these large, huge mistakes. They happen, but not from these gentlemen.
No, I think we're going to see some very clean gameplay. Although, commentator's curse is always on the table.
It's a demon.
It is. Okay, Punkay with a cheeky booty slide. Moving right along, though. A couple seconds here and there will add up quick, though. Cheese is right on his tail, despite the Owlus slip up only about 5-6 seconds apart. We've got ourselves a race.
It is definitely a race. Right here in Womps, and this is what you want to see. This back and forth, this give and take. Because Womps goes hard. I mean, they don't call it Reset Womps or Reset Fortress for nothing.
They definitely don't. Oh, big bonk, and now pretty much tied at this point. She's taking the lead from Punkay. These little slip-ups on each star, they're so frustrating because at this point, it's like you're sort of secured. Once you have Owlus, Canalus, 100 out of the way, it's pretty cozy.
It is.
You can kick the fireplace on, you can kick your feet back, put the slippers on.
And stomp that daddy thwomp.
Stomp him. Indeed. Oh, Punkay not even in position. Here we go. I couldn't have said it better myself.
Cheese with the lead at this point.
Not only Cheese, but Counter Logic Gaming. Cheese.
Ooh, yes.
Will he counter the logic today, though?
Got one more star here in Womps to let us know. All right.
And we're in the kitchen. Our first meal. Punkay. Leaving it in the oven for just a little bit too long, a little bit too crispy, but Cheese, very tasteful Womps. The right amount in the oven.
The crispy taquito.
A little,
that's what we'll call that.
A little, pinch of salt, dash of garlic, some parsley. It's looking tasty. Punkay, also looking pretty tasty, but like I said, a little bit burnt. But you can scrape the crust off. So
12-6. I'm just saying it now. 12-6.
12-6s? For both of them?
No, they're going to switch. Cheese is going to get the 12-6 now. Puncayshun's going to get the 12-7.
I'm going to go off on a limb and say Cheese is with the 12-7 again. Punkay, I'm feeling 12-8.
Oh, okay. All right. We're going to just switch the other direction. 12-7. Dual 12-7s.
Okay. Moonwalk. Here he is. Oh, and Cheese not getting the lag reduction. Eating a little bit from the sun. Shining so bright.
That laggy sun.
Oh, Punkay as well. Wow, both players dropping the lag reduction. Eating little things. Can't imagine that tastes too good.
A pocket full of sunshine for sure. Cheese looking good now. Working the parabolas. But Punkay trying to fly through here. Going Mach 12.
Yeah, pretty much once you get those first two reds, you're smooth sailing. I mean, occasionally you'll miss the other two, but I definitely would say the first two are the hardest. Both players with a nice win cap. Dark World, here it comes once again. We saw some crazy stuff.
Some crazy stuff.
Ouija was so close to dying to the Goomba. I don't know how he didn't die to the Goomba last time. Dude ever straight up dying at the end and still taking the W. That just speaks volumes.
That's crazy.
To the nature of this game. It's never over. You never can give up. Just got to keep chugging along.
She's having a double back. Grab that switch one more time so we can get these first two reds. Puncayshun starting off his Dark World here. Nabbing that switch first time.
I just want to appreciate how different the play style is from Cheese and Punkay to D Whatever and Ouija. We saw D Whatever and Ouija playing very ferociously in Dark World, going for some crazy strats, but Punkay and Cheese keeping it basic, doing what works, what's consistent.
And it's working out for him at this point. Puncayshun nipping at Cheese's heels. Looking good.
Ooh.
Double firsties.
Beautiful Dark World from Cheese.
Very, very nice.
Punkay also going to be going for these firsties at the end. Pretty much identical. Oh, but the bonk.
The bonk.
That's so hard. That's 2 one-frame tricks back to back.
Boom, boom.
Very nice throw from Cheese. Winding him up.
So long, King Bowser.
For now.
For now.
We'll be back. But I'm gonna just turn into a key. Go on your way.
Very large key.
It is a pretty large key. It's taller than Mario. But he just cheekily pops it into his vest. Never to be seen again until it's necessary. Gives it a little toss. He's not too braggadocious.
He's not.
You know, he doesn't come across like a mean guy. He's just happy.
He just wants some cake.
Yeah.
Peach has promised him cake, and he just wants some cake.
Cake is a pretty good motivator. Depends on the cake, though. You know, sometimes you get a cake and you're like, wow, is this what I came here for?
But it all depends.
Peach has a whole team of bakers, though. Can't possibly mess it up.
Ready to go. Cheese.
Oh, whoa, very low on the slope. Makes it work, though. No problems.
Wow, that was really low.
Yeah, I'm surprised that worked. Punkay, little bonk. Could save some time here, though, on the slope.
Much higher.
Mm-hmm. I'm actually pretty shocked that worked for Cheese.
Yeah, that was really low. Going into Cool Mountain, now we've seen sometimes wall kicks just don't work.
Straight up. And we saw that happen a little bit earlier than anticipated in Womps from Cheese. Some struggles around that Owlus wall. Here it comes. Always wall kicks will work first. Pretty much the standard. I don't think I've seen anybody not go for wall kicks will work first.
I mean, that's kind of the thing.
Yeah.
You know, the other ones, So, I mean, we saw, I think D Whatever did the Baby Penguin last versus Ouija. But both of these players nailing it.
Yeah, no problems there. Moving right along. Oh, right away. Beautiful grab.
Cheese means business, you know. He doesn't have time to chase this little baby penguin around. He's like, come on, we have stuff to do. Your mama's got a star.
I've got stars to get. Straight businessman. You wouldn't tell it by the look of him. I mean, he looks...
No.
Does not look like a businessman, but just what you might think. Might surprise you.
See, and Punkay right behind him at this point. I mean, I'm talking minor mistake away. Cheese opting for that CCM, that Cool Mountain 17 that we talked about before. And I think that's kind of the standard now.
Yeah.
With Pillarless.
Ooh, beautiful triple jump dive from Cheese. Missing that top coin, but not the end of the world. If he misses one coin, that is a little bit troubling. He has to get a backup red, which is a little bit of ways, but only a couple seconds. Not the end of the world.
Now, the question is, we talked about Cool Mountain 17 or CCM 17. Then you're going for Pillarless. You know, at one point, you're just kind of trading off a little bit for the risk. I mean, yes, not getting 100 coins with the Penguin is, like, devastating. You know, almost as devastating as jumping off in Dark World.
Right? Yes.
But we saw two very experienced runners have issues with Pillarless earlier.
Yeah, and I think Punkay actually has been rocking a slightly different route. He will go for Cool Mountain 17, but I don't think he does HMC late, or he hasn't been. He's been picking up an extra star there and only going for one Pillarless.
That's that old school, that old HMC early, right?
Yeah.
You know, so we may see that route kind of diverge coming up here shortly.
He does what's comfy. You know, not going to conform to any sort of thing. whatever he finds the most comfortable and what he thinks he can do the most consistently.
Now, I'm really interested to see what he would switch out for, whether it's, THI Reds.
Big bonk from Cheese.
I'd assume that it's not going to be Snowman's Land Reds because that's really slow. All right, Cheese still maintaining that lead here.
Ooh, don't like that ground pound. Very uncomfortable balcony star.
The Big Boo didn't want anything to do with him.
Yeah, that was like, okay.
Ooh, all right.
Having some strange mistakes here in the Haunted Mansion. Could be a little bit too scary. But the brightness is up pretty high, so it's not too scary. But those trees in the back kind of get me. Just the way they melt with the sky, it's like,
oh yeah.
I don't know.
Well, I don't know about you, and we only see it typically in 120 star, but the piano used to terrify me.
That's got to be like the #1 thing mentioned in Twitch chats whenever you're in Big Boo's Haunt, and there's always somebody that's like, that piano scared me so much as a kid.
Because you're like, I just want this coin. Where's the? Oh my god! All right,
it's so loud too.
It's really
it's
loud.
Just chomping away. But Big Boo's Haunt pretty much out of the way. It's time to get into the nitty gritty, into the trenches.
Literally,
it's gonna get dirty.
It's gonna get very dirty.
There's a lot of sand, a lot of lava. You're bound to, pick something up.
Hopefully, it's just stars at this point.
Yes, that's what we're hoping for.
Going into shifting Sandland. Now, we talked about Pillarless, which is this scary part of SSL.
That was causing a lot of problems for D-Whatever and Ouija. We did see Punkay actually practicing it before this race, and I don't blame him one bit. You want to make sure you have it down.
Now,
Nice
how difficult, in your opinion, is Pillarless? I mean, it's very specific. We see different variations. Of course, Tomaples being the most difficult. Oh, jeez.
Is this going to work? Oh,
okay.
Oh,
wow.
It was up and then down and then up and down. We're on the roller coaster ride, but Cheese does not take a death. Punkay's got an opportunity here to save some time. He's got the big bomb. Tomaples.
Yes.
It's on deck. Double jump. Ooh, extra jump, but he's in there. Very nice. And that's a good feeling.
And that's where it's very specific because too much and you're going out of the back of the pyramid. Too little, you're going down the front. And you still have a ground pound inside of the pyramid that you have to try to get.
Oh, throwing away the medium bomb. Now, you can actually do Pillarless with a medium bomb. It's a little bit more convoluted. But she's not wanting to bother with it, getting the backup Talon. And no second Pillarless for Punkay, actually opting for it. Now, I have seen Punkay drop the second Pillarless. Sometimes she's struggling out here on the pyramid. Wow. Punkay not even minding the quicksand. Long jumping right over it. Probably the only... I mean, we saw both Ouija and D-Whatever...
Both of them.
Go like over to the pillar and then long jump from there.
Yeah.
Very safe, but Punkay very confident in his backups. Will he go for it again? I have seen him drop a Pillarless once the backups are slim, but he's still got one.
All right. Much better.
Okay.
And look.
There we go.
Nice.
All right, Punkay's done with his homework, but Cheese still needs to do a little bit more studying.
Yep.
Might want to rewatch a couple lectures. Has to get one more star going in the pyramid. And it's very scary at this point when you don't... Oh, no. Oh, no. Sand a little bit too slippery. Okay, taking his anger out on the Goomba. I don't know if that was warranted, but Punkay losing quite a bit of unnecessary time.
Wow.
Just got to shake that one off.
Shake it off. Move forward. Because we still got another 30 minutes plus.
Yeah, we got a lot left on our plate.
She's looking much more solid with that second Pillarless.
She's actually ending up on top. That mistake cost a lot of time for Punkay.
It did.
And it looked weird. It was like, how do you miss that? But the camera gets so strange after that final secret. It just does not work with you. Most of the time in this game, you can get the camera how you want it. There's, you can practice it, and you have it all locked down. But areas like that, and also I feel like Dire Docs on the sub, the camera just, it's not a fan.
It's not.
Lakitu is just fed up.
That if you don't pay him off in the beginning of the race, like I told you, he's just going to kind of have a mind of his own.
So true. Well, here we are on Lethal Lava Land once again.
Both going for reds right here in the beginning.
Yeah, I think since both of them had sort of a shaky, shifting sand land, just want to take it slow, easing into Lethal Lava Land. Okay.
That was a really good backup.
Yeah, very nice from Cheese. I'm personally a fan of just getting the boost out of the way as soon as possible.
Right.
Just get it off my back.
And then you don't have to worry about it. I mean, it's kind of weighing on your mind at this point. Let's see. Looks like Cheese going to put it off just a little bit more, heading or opting to head over to say hello to the bullies.
Ooh, nice angle. Gets the ledge grab. But set flying. Oh my goodness, playing with his food. The cross up from the bully. Not the best strat. I think he would have wanted to bop him into the lava, but my goodness, that's about as far in the air as you can go from an enemy.
Bopped.
Yeah, a bop indeed. And here we go. Punkay playing it pretty safe, but not what he wanted. Gotta be careful.
What's really scary about backing that up is that spinning fire. Because when you have to back up lava boost, you don't quite know where that cycle is.
Right.
So if you go up blinds, you may die because you're already at low health anyway.
Yeah, and Punkay playing it super safe. She's with a nice triple.
All right. Okay, heading back in, gonna attempt lava boost one more time.
Yeah, Punkay not doing anything too fancy. Pretty standard stuff here. And no problems. Gets her done.
Get her done.
But Cheese can save even more time here over Punkay. Starting to get himself a decent margin.
He's looking good. You know, I think this is around the time of the run. You know, we've been running 20 minutes now. This is around the time to calm down a little bit. The initial nerves.
Ooh,
very nice.
Dancing through the poles.
The initial nerves are kind of wearing off a little bit. This is that time to shine. This is where you're really going to make up time before you start to get the nerves again coming towards the end of the run.
Yeah, I agree. It's nice that after all this madness, it doesn't just keep going. You do have Dire Docks swimming around, which is super chill. It's just the pacing of this game in general is it's so beautiful.
It is. It works out really, really well. And GSA has put on a couple of different tournaments on different categories, such as like the nonstop, which changes the entire dynamic of the game.
Oh, yeah.
And you don't have that downtime, that rest time. If I remember correctly, I think it was Alaris who went through and timed out how much you actually move the character versus cutscenes. And I can't remember, it was like 24 or 25 minutes of actual movement. And all of the rest is, you know, star grabs and cutscenes. And I mean, the first minute of the game is a cutscene.
Right. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. Like, the game feels like it never stops moving because it's so brief.
Right.
But the pauses are very consistent, so they definitely add up.
Dire Docks.
Oh, missing the chest, trying to cut it too close, but not having it.
The chest dynamic is kind of weird because Mario, as you're coming up on the chest, the face of Mario has to be facing the back of the chest. So if you come at it at too much of an angle, you're not going to hit anything.
Right. Yep, you want to be like facing with the chest. She's getting the rest of them figured out, but Punkay missing a swim there. Sometimes it's hard to tell because it's mostly an audio thing, but you actually lose quite a bit of time when you miss a swim. It's mostly just like timing A presses, and you're good. Very nice last chest from Punkay, but it loses, I want to say, at least a second, if not more, because with the way swimming works, like, you have to do a couple strokes before you get at your maximum momentum. Right. And so if you miss a swim, you got to build right back up to the momentum.
And that's where it's tough, because you're constantly pressing A as you're trying to move Mario around to get in position. So we see Cheese right now doing that lag reduction that we talked about, getting ready for front sub. It's tough to back up front sub.
So tough. So much lag. But very nice.
Easy.
Punkay will be going for it as well. We'll see if he can get it going.
And you do save some time here, but you also risk losing some time as well.
Yeah, front sub is something that I still haven't picked up. It's so scary.
It's incredibly
but
scary.
it's
Like
not
this.
happening for Punkay, and now the leg is settling in, is slipping around.
So we normally see a backup of going to that left side, but Punkay said no. We're pushing through this and we're making it happen. That's a very good backup from Puncayshun. Getting back up there and getting it done, losing minimal time. Cheese making short work. He understands those hitboxes to a T.
Yeah, that was actually kind of crazy. Imagine if the Manta thing didn't happen with Ouija in the other race.
Oh, yeah.
That was like almost a minute lost.
That was huge.
Fire C, here it is. This could be a possible chance for Punkay to make up some good time, or for Cheese to extend his lead. But Cheese not rocking the new movement either. It's actually crazy that out of the, and I don't think Punkay's picked it up yet either. But I guess it makes sense. They're the top 4 players. They're so good. They've already got this movement down.
Staying with that consistent what you know rather than trying to push in. Like, to me, that would be great to start implementing between tournaments or between like race times.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Exactly. She's getting up there.
Very nice. Making the cycle. Can he get the good ending? Punkay with a bonk actually going for the new movement, but that is going to cost it for him. But we at least get to see a display. And so the lead gets further. And a bonk for Punkay.
Ooh, no.
I mean, he's pretty much solidified at normal cycle right now.
Yes.
The elevators are doing their thing. He wouldn't be able to get up there anyway, but this is looking good for Cheese. I mean, Punkay's been the Goliath.
He has.
The mammoth of a man. I mean, look at the hair.
And now he's got to wait. Now, we saw this with Ouija and D whatever. Where I believe it was D whatever who was sitting there waiting.
I believe so. Cheese, nice toss. And Punkay getting the most out of his cycle. Good ending. About as good as you can wish for after the mistakes that were made. But
Cheese giving us a cheeky little wink there as he grabs the key.
did he?
Showing the confidence. He knows he knows that he's got the lead right now by at least a Bowser fight.
He's feeling himself.
He's feeling himself.
Feeling good. That's where you want to be, especially going upstairs. You don't want to drop any of your momentum because, I mean, it doesn't stop. It doesn't stop coming at you.
It doesn't. Puncayshun going for his throw here in Fire C, wrapping up his time downstairs as well. Wet Dry World. Now, we saw Cheese working on this before the run, working specifically on this 100.
Oh! There's a weird thing where, oh my goodness, this start is not very comfortable for Cheese at all.
It hurts.
Not going, definitely not going how he planned it. I don't even know what I was saying. That shocked me so much.
This Skeeter, look, just staying put, saying, hey, Cheese, I'm over here. Just
Come and bop me, take my coins.
Cool, I'm not going to run anywhere.
I know you're the world record holder. Huge. Cheese is just pumping the dives out. My goodness. Funnily enough, and this is actually a thing that you see so often, and it's so easy to get frustrated by it. You practice something before your run or before your race. You're like, okay, I got it.
Yep.
And then it comes time to shine in the run or the race, and it just doesn't go nearly as how you planned it.
And that's tough.
Oh, beautiful box kick double from Punkay.
Especially when you know that you've practiced it. You know that you've done it before. Punkay.
Oh, level 2 bonk from Cheese.
Look at this. The Skeeter for Punkay decided, hey, look, I'm just going to line up in the line. You don't even have to move. Just go in a straight line, and I'm here.
The dive off from Cheese. That's a lot of damage. But he can back this up. Got to keep his cool. 4 points of health.
Wow. Just running into the wall at this point.
Oh, no.
Missed the flame. Triple jump dive.
Wow. And that right there, a lot of time lost.
That's a ton of time.
There's something to be said for that. Like some sort of phenomenon where you practice something, you're like so prepared for it, but you just get so in your head, you're like, man, okay, I practiced this, so it must go good.
Right.
And then as soon as it starts not going good, it's like code red.
Right. But I think that Cheese backed it up really well, and that definitely narrowed the gap to allow Puncayshun to come back a little bit.
Yeah, Punkay making up huge time.
There's a lot of risky things, like right here, this triple jump wall kick. It's kind of rough. You know, I've kind of played around with it myself, and it's very specific and very precise.
Very much so.
And if you miss it, it can almost throw you off. But it does save time. If your opponent's getting it, he's saving that time.
This is looking good from Punkay. Very nice. Yeah, this one takes a while to understand.
It does.
Many hours behind this triple jump wall kick from both players, I'm sure. And she's getting his second one. No problems there. Very nicely done.
Very nice triple jump dive to get this top of the town star. But Punkay is, and this is the key, I think, to these races. And you talked about how experienced that puncayshun is with these races.
Mm-hmm.
To me, he's almost in the mode of putting his head down. He's not worried about what Cheese is doing. Putting his head down and just running the game, doing what he does best. And I think that's why he's where he's at now.
Yeah, the tunnel vision.
Right.
And we've had plenty of interviews with Punkay, and he does say he actually, when he has a lead, or if he knows he has a lead, it makes him quite a bit nervous because he's like, oh man, I have the lead. I really don't want to lose this type thing, which I find kind of interesting, but it makes sense.
It does. But if you're a little bit behind, you're almost like motivated to like, okay, stop. Let's do what we know how to do. She's going into THI. Going to go for these secrets. Now, we saw earlier how optimal it can be, having to reduce the lag.
Very nice.
Very, very nice. And it's insane the amount of lag that's like in that one spot before you get the fourth secret between the third and the fourth. It's like if you hit it, it just slows all of your momentum down.
Yeah, it gets so awkward in that space right around the third secret. Punkay not opting for the leg reduction and the bonk.
And a bonk right at the end.
Ooh. Man, Tiny Huge Island is just, it's so awkward.
It's weird.
The Tiny Island, at least. The Huge Island, a little bit less awkward. Just so many weird angles, edges. She's very nice clip.
And looking good.
That was pretty spicy. Cheese actually delaying his ground pound a little bit after hitting the box so that he's a little bit lower. Very minute thing, but it's the little things that these players have optimized to get to where they are.
The small optimization, the small little tweaks that just playing this game casually, you're not going to notice.
No,
any of these
not
things.
at all.
You're not. You're
takes a trained eye.
Exactly.
Oh, Punkay off the side. Hold the phone. The protractor was not in his back pocket. This man is not ready to do any sort of geometry right now.
And Cheese is pushing forward. Great piranhas.
I mean, after that wet, dry world, Cheese bouncing back quite a bit.
Yeah.
But Tall Mountain, it has a history.
It does have a history.
With every player. And I know Cheese is definitely one to say Tall Mountain is one of the hardest stages, and especially in 70 star. You know, in 120 star, there's so many stages that get so much harder. Hazy Maze Cave gets way harder in 120.
Oh, yeah.
But Tall Mountain, 70 star or 120 star, it's a bop.
It is. And it's one that you can't really let your guard down. Because if you let your guard down, you're going to make simple mistakes.
You're going to get slapped.
Cheese.
Ooh, okay.
Not opting for breezeless. Going to take that breeze up. Do this 180 right around the chuck, you saying, not today, buddy.
Yeah, that's actually a pretty common thing, I'd say, at this point to see from Cheese. He tends to drop breezeless, and sometimes if he's on a crazy 70-star run, he'll just drop breezeless, because if you miss it, it's quite a bit of time loss. And honestly, if you have a very optimal, like what he just did, if it's very optimal, you don't lose that much time.
You don't.
Only a couple of seconds. But I'm sure Punkay will be going for breezeless.
He's setting it up now.
Nice.
And Cheese making these reds look hot. Look at this.
Ooh. The bonk.
And a bonk up top.
Now, how does he back it up? We did see in the last race it got very messed up, but Cheese, easy backup.
He turned the camera, and that almost, like, blocking out the Monty Moles, I guess, from throwing the rocks.
Yeah, it seemed like it reduced the leg a little bit. Typically, when you see a mistake like that around reds, players will just absolutely melt down, but Cheese, very, very nice backup.
Now, star order is really interesting here to me. You know, because I don't know, I would assume it's based upon the runner's comfort, I guess.
There's some. Oh, cheese. Nice.
Okay. He got the ledge grab. He got in there.
Well, the thing about no clip for Punkay.
What's he going to do at this point?
He's got a couple backups he can pick from. I'm going to go for reds, and this is why most players will take the Mountain Stars out of the way first, because something like that might happen. So you want to go to the side and go back it up, or if you miss the log wall kick, cheese falling. Oh, I thought he was falling all the way down.
I thought he fell as well. Oh, having some issues getting up top.
Yeah, cheese swimming around, taking his time.
And this wall kick is so specific that it looks easy. Like, you see all of these top runners.
Oh, dropping.
Falling down.
Oh, okay. Having some fun out here.
And he's up. Going back to that log, like, the wall kick is pretty specific.
Mm-hmm.
The angle is pretty specific.
Oh, definitely.
But all of these runners make it look easy. Make it look like, hey, all right, I just long jump at the log, and I can wall kick off it, and I'm great.
Oh, and Punkay having some problems lining it up. Doesn't like that. That camera's not too good in that angle. Oop. Oh, my goodness.
He made it work.
I didn't think he was going to get a wall kick out of that. And he's up there. Oh, okay. Both players really struggling to get to the top of the mountain. I mean, usually one of the dive for Punkay, the pause. Oh,
he made it. He slid back down.
Code red. Somebody call the ambulance. This man is hemorrhaging time. It's just leaking out of his system.
We need the Band-Aids. We got to pull them out now.
We need more than Band-Aids. We need some gauze. We need some medical tape. Definitely some Neosporin for the aftermath. My goodness. That was a mess.
Now, if you're puncayshun at this point, what's going through your mind?
A lot.
A lot. You know, do you change what you were doing?
Yes.
I mean,
you definitely don't want to keep, slipping around, losing time. You definitely want to save time and go fast. She's really nice back up there. I thought he was going to have to do a side flip back up. But a lot. I mean, as you're making these mistakes in the back, you're seeing cheese accelerate forward, gaining more time, and so that's on your mind. But you just want to clear it. That's always, like, I know we say it a lot, but really that's the solution. You want to just bring yourself back to baseline. Realize there's still a lot of time to save. There's still many stages, namely Rainbow Ride TikTok Clock. I mean, we saw what it did in the last race. So much time lost in those two stages.
And that's the thing what you have to remember as well. Like, Punkay, coming into this, was the number one.
Mm-hmm.
Popping out these 48s left and right like it was nothing, So he's got the consistency.
Mm-hmm.
He's got that. I think that Tippy, like we always say, is going to be the deciding factor here. Cheese is feeling good. He's relaxed, doing what he does best.
Couple bumps in the road, but we're speeding.
But he knows that Punkay is right behind him.
Yes.
Right on his tail. All right, Cheese going downstairs for that late HMC. And that is interesting that we did not see that from Punkay.
Yeah, I think it was actually, I want to say maybe midway through the league, Punkay started picking up the double pillarless. Very nice punch grab from Cheese.
And MIPS is really interesting when it comes to 70 star because when you're playing on the US version, the first MIPS is slow, incredibly slow.
Mm-hmm.
But at nice ledge grab. The 50 star MIPS is incredibly fast. Just like on the Japanese version, both of them are equal speeds. But it's specific to the US that it's slow for the first one. So you can't do the same thing.
Yeah, that's right. And it's hard to notice, but that's completely accurate. You will notice slightly different movement here in the hallway from the first MIPS to the second MIPS. And for anyone wondering out there why they play on US version as opposed to Japanese version, it's very interesting. Text actually scrolls faster on the US version. And so there's also moments in the run where there's just less text boxes in general.
Right.
Like the Womp fight, for example, there's just pretty much one text box at the end of the fight, whereas Japanese version you got like 3 or 4. And it adds up to be about a second time save throughout the entire thing.
Which is insane.
Yeah, it's hard to keep track of because like Japanese saves time in 120. I want to say
16.
I want to say 16 as well. I would assume 0 and 1 as well, but
I would assume so. Christmas Miracle.
It is indeed a miracle. Cheese hitting the switch, no problems at all. Oh, okay. That was... I wonder what just went through Punkay's head. I think he might have just gotten lost.
Maybe.
Sometimes that happens. I think Punkay has actually straight up grabbed blue stars before in the league. You know, sometimes you just get so caught up in your thoughts that you're not even focusing on what's at hand.
It's that autopilot. Like, your hands just kind of do what you're doing, and you may be focused on your opponent, or you're focused on where you are, or the mistakes that you made, and you kind of go on that autopilot. You see that triple right here. Triple box jump.
Very nice. Yeah, the muscle memory is so ingrained. Even if you take like a year off of the game, if you pick up the controller, your hands just do the work. Like when you think about it, you're like, okay, what do you actually do there? And then you just let your hands do it. They just make it happen.
And you're a perfect example of that. We talked about that earlier. Just being able to post a solid time after not playing the game is phenomenal. And so with these guys that do it literally every day, you know it's like a part of you now, like riding a bike, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. That's a good analogy.
Okay, going for his Christmas Miracle. Boom. Makes it happen.
And very clean, hazy maze cave from Cheese, but here we go, baby. The moment that we've all been waiting for. Tip top of the castle. Rainbow Ride.
This is tough.
Tick-tock clock.
We're not that far off. You know, Punkay's got one more star to get here at HMC before he can go upstairs. But there's so much that can happen. We've seen that time and time again in runs, in races. We've seen it over and over. This race is far from over.
Yeah, 40-30 door touch from Cheese. It's looking like maybe 40-ish seconds of a lead. Cheese in a very comfy position. If he can keep it going, he's good.
Right.
Doesn't have to do anything fancy. Doesn't have to worry about going too fast, just as long as there's no major slip-ups.
Exactly.
And he got the bounce. Oh, nice pole grab. Oh my goodness. On an absolute tear here in Rainbow Ride.
He's got to feel good.
Opening so strong.
He has got to feel good.
That's the dream.
After that is the dream.
Because, like, if you go into a stage and the first thing that happens is a slip-up, a fall, that is not good news. You set the tone right there. You're like, oh, man, I have to make this up. This is not going well. But if you start like that, you're like, all right, I got this.
Right. You don't get inside of your own head. Tricky triangles coming from Cheese. Punkay going to try to match him here with this Lakitu bounce.
This is actually a somewhat recent development. Typically, players would go for the side flip there, but Punkay running around, going for the jump. Nice bounce. Not as spicy. You know, Cheese was rocking a very, very hot, almost blazing wing levels of sauce.
Right.
Spiciness on his, but Punkay, you know, more of a hot wing, but still a nice zip.
It's still pretty zippy.
Yeah.
And Cheese narrowly missing that fire for the booty burn. Grabbing that star.
He's chugging along. Victory is in his sight, but tick-tock clock is still on the way. We still do have reds. And Punkay's looking just as good here in Rainbow Ride.
He is.
He's not backing down. Both of them trying to take the steering wheel, pedal this machine into the winner's side.
Yep.
Okay.
A slow get up there from Cheese.
I never get tired of seeing that. That little slide. Oh,
yes.
Okay, 2 slow get-ups.
Wow. Just keeping it saucy. keeping it saucy.
All right, and that's it for Cheese. On to tick-tock clock we go. Punkay still a little bit of work left, but he's looking good. He's keeping his head down, getting his work done.
Very nice tricky triangles. TTC.
Here it is, baby. The granddaddy.
The grandpapa. Now, TTC 100 is probably the scariest. Just because, I mean, everything is out to get you.
Yeah, at every turn, there's an edge you can fall off of, a bonk that could send you off of an edge into the bottomless pit.
Invisible walls. Just anything you can think of is here.
It's got everything you need.
But she's looking good so far.
Ooh, not ground pounding the top of the box, but still getting the coins. Wow, making it work. And Punkay actually opts for Toad before tick-tock clock, which apparently loses a second. So Punkay not the most optimal in terms of routing or strats, but definitely one of the most consistent.
Now Cheese gonna go get this star right above the thwomp here.
Nice.
Wow.
So smart, using the thwomp to avoid the ledge grab there. It's pretty much just a timing thing. It's like RNG, but if you can take advantage of it. Oh, Punkay.
Interesting, not doing TCC 100, getting the pendulum star first here. Pit in the pendulums. We are into moving time now with Cheese.
And both these players opt into either. Oh, how did he not get the wall kick? Struggling a little bit there, but both opt in to go top down here on these 3 stars.
And it's kind of an interesting choice with Punkay here, knocking these stars out first, like knocking the quick ones out. We'll see if it pays off for him. I mean, maybe that's to help with confidence, or I don't know.
Yeah, the moving stars are just sort of always in the back of your head. You're like, okay, yes, I have tick-tock clock 100, but I also have these 3 moving stars that are, they're sort of, once you get the triple jump wall kick at the beginning there, it's pretty much gravy. Not too shabby, especially like get a hand.
Oh, yeah.
Once you're up there, you're pretty much done with it. But Punkay cleanly getting him out of the way. But
now,
100 still on his plate.
It looks like they're even. However, Cheese still has 1 star ahead of puncayshun. Punkay electing to get Toad first.
Right. And Punkay still got this long one. The monster. Tick-tock clock 100. Not much spots left here for Cheese. Oh, missing the red. Having to go back down. Doing it very nicely, though. That's about as good as it could get for backing up that red.
If the gap can be narrowed just a little bit, we know that Punkay has got that better average in Bowser throws. And that may be what it comes down to. There's still, we talked about moving right. We've talked about moving left side. Even seeing D whatever attempt a couple of times in his last run and said, no, forget it. Well, I'm not going to risk this, which ultimately gave him the win.
I could definitely see Punkay doing something very similar. Cheese, sorry. Doing something similar. If the triple jump wall kick does not work out and Bowser in the sky, just electing to go the very, very consistent way that we saw Do Whatever do.
Right.
Because you just want to get the W. I mean, once you have the W, that's another 30 points on your plate. Guaranteed, at least.
He's working on his reds here.
And that's it. Tick-tock clock very cleanly done. Cheese actually with an incredible tippy thus far.
Oh, yeah. Looking
Heating
good.
up.
Looking good. Bits is it. Puncayshun going back in. Time jump on moving bars should be what he works on.
Ooh, Punkay not able to get the triple jump. Not much time left. I mean, Cheese has got a lot of wiggle room. The bonk. Oh, the bonk. Okay.
He falls down.
Chain effect. These pendulums
Wow.
are giving him a run for his money. Punkay trying to figure life out right now, but it's just so complicated.
Insane.
Gets
Just
her done.
as Cheese goes into Bits, confident.
And we're on some cheeky pace right here. I wasn't looking at the timer, but Cheese could nab himself a 48.
Looking really good.
Oh, a little dusty. Not a big deal.
And considering the mistakes that we've seen, pulling out a 48, there's a little bit more dust there. Going up with moving right. Oh, and he falls down.
That's
He
the
falls
risk.
down.
That right there is
All
the
the
risk.
way down. He did not die.
He definitely did not die. Commentator with the astute observations out here. But what is he going to do now? He knows he has the lead. Is he going to play around? Are we going to see a right side again? What is Cheese thinking? Punkay's done with tick-tock clock. He's coming in. And Cheese going left side now. A little safer. And he gets it.
He gets it.
Definitely the right move, I think.
Let's hope these Goombas cooperate. Yep, it's completely clear. Hey, look, Cheese is coming through. Got to talk to Big Daddy Bowser. Oh.
Here
Not
we go.
diving in. Okay, starting out Bits.
could still get a low 49 on Cheese's side, but the highest amount of average throws. Will we see a couple missed throws here? It's very possible. Winding up. First one, no problem.
First one is too easy.
The crowd getting into it. That's 2.
Number 2. All right.
One more for Cheese and 3 clean ones.
Very nice.
Going against
very, very
his
nice.
average. Very nice from Cheese. But the timer is ticking. Every 10 seconds is another point in Cheese's pocket. Crazy. Punkay was dominating the league. Absolutely dominating the league. But here in his first race, Cheese takes the W, switching out his controller, using the Hori mini pad. It's just a little bit cleaner for throws. You know, keep your N64 controller intact. He's winding up. There's one. Crowd not as enthusiastic on Punkay's throws, but he's still out here. That is
2.
Wow.
Okay.
That's 2. Winding it up for a very low 50. 3 clean throws from both players.
Very, very nice. Both of these runners, Cheese beating his average by about 22 seconds. And then Punkay behind his average by looks like around 20 seconds. But great run from both of these guys.
And shaking hands. The sportsmanship
the GGs
is real. Having some fun out here, doing some speed running. And that's, correct me if I'm wrong, 64 points for Cheese and 26 for Punkay.
I believe so.
So pretty similar for both races. Definitely not a blowout by any means.
Not at all.
Quite close. And there's so much more to come, so many more points to get.
There are. I mean, we have 4 days of this action.
We do.
We have 3 more days of all of the tournaments. So round robin coming up again tomorrow.
That's right.
Which is going to be crazy.
Yeah, everybody's going to get a taste of racing with everybody. I felt like this today was like similar players racing against each other. Like Dude Ever and Ouija, both very fast players, heavy on the strats. And here we got Cheese coming through. Cheese and Punkay both more valuing the consistency, but they also got the speed. Here he is, looking good. The long hair.
Cheese.
How you doing, man? Congratulations.
GG's. What was going through your head? Like, you know that you're going up against Punkay, right? And you dove off in Wet Dry World. You had a couple of these mistakes here and there. But at the meantime, you turn over and the little cheeky wink there.
Yeah.
So what's going through your head? Like, how were you able to stay calm, cool, and collected?
To be honest, I think that wink was kind of a way of me making myself calm.
That's fair.
Kind of like it was like telling myself I got this.
Right.
Everything is fine. The dive in Wet Dry World, the initial mistake was it was a pretty simple one. Basically, I dived on the frame that I landed, which means that I wasn't able to turn and go straight through the bridge. So I still had that weird angle. So when I dived off, immediately I was like, "What just happened?" But immediately after that, I was able to like realize, okay, we need to get back up, and that's my mission. I need to do the backup strat.
You got back up, but that was kind of awkward up there. Had a couple bonks kind of moving around. How did that affect the rest of your Wet Dry World? Were you able to just shrug it off, or was it kind of in the back of your head?
Yeah, I think I just shrugged it off. I did not pay attention to it, and I was able to just play really cleanly after that.
Well, you were almost stone-faced towards the end, and I don't know how you did it, because I would have been like freaking out.
Yeah.
Moving right, you fall down.
Yeah.
And you're at the bottom, you don't die, but you know that Punkay is about to enter into bits.
Yeah.
But, like, this is you.
Yeah.
You know, how do you keep that control?
It's a good question. I mean, the control part comes with experience, right? And the last 4 months of being part of the league, that alone has taught me so much more about control in racing. Because I think racing and these settings are all about control.
Right.
It's all about when you make a mistake, not if. When you make mistakes, to act like it did not happen, and the only mission is to do the backup strat and don't mess up.
Well, kind of commenting and piggybacking off of that, what was the dynamic change? Normally, you're sitting at home, getting ready for a GSA race. We're in a Discord call, and you're just doing your thing. But here, you've got all of these people here. You've got thousands of people watching at home. What changed for you? Like, How did that affect you and your gameplay today?
I think the thing that affected me most was hearing people behind me, and I didn't use headsets. I didn't use a headset up there. But I think too that having experience at GDQs and TwitchCon, doing runs in front of crowds really help. And but it is kind of weird that once you kind of get into the run, it's almost like it's a blockout. You block out everything else, and you feel like it's just you back at home, and you're just playing the game. And sometimes it would get to a point where you almost forget like where you are.
Right.
And that's what you kind of want to do in this situation.
That's
you
fair.
want to learn how to get that, get used to that, so you could like feel more at home, basically.
Except for the boom, boom, booms at the end that the crowd was making. Yeah.
That actually it got me a little bit nervous. Like when I heard one, I was like, what's going on?
Right.
Okay, Bowser throws 2. Okay, third one.
Well, simply, what else do you have for this man here?
You took out Punkay, the big man, #1 in the league by far. But we're in person. It's really happening out here. Moving forward in these next couple of races, how are you preparing? Are you planning on doing a ton of practice, or are you feeling pretty good about your gameplay?
I'm going to practice. There's no doubt about that. When it comes to the Punkay race, everyone knows like the Cheese versus Punkay as
the boys.
The staple Mario 64 race. And we've had so many. Almost every single appearance I've done in a live event has been a race against Punkay.
Right.
And some against you.
Yeah.
And I think my only thought at the beginning was like, I just want to beat Punkay.
Right.
It's like that.
Of course.
It's
like that rivalry.
Yeah, that rivalry. And I beat him, so that's all I care about.
Right.
No, it's... But my performance was really good.
It was.
I'm kind of shocked about my performance, if I'm not going to lie. Because the first race in a live setting like that, you would think that you're the most nervous and you get used to the races after.
Right.
But I felt very calm. I felt more calm than usual. And I was able to perform a lot better than I expected. I would say I performed better than I expected.
Yeah, that was nice. That tippy blew me away.
It was
the
good.
Rainbow Ride and
I
TikTok
had
Clock
like,
were insane.
I was in Zen mode, dude.
Yeah.
I don't know how I
in
did
the zone.
but I felt like a Zen mode in that tippy. I felt confident.
Right.
And I don't know where it came from, but it's good.
It's all in the wink. That's what it is. It's all in the wink.
The wink gave him power.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, have any final words for our boy, Thero?
GG's. I'm excited for the next 3 days.
me too.
I'm super excited for the next couple of days, and definitely can't wait to see the rest of the races too.
Yeah, I can't wait either.
Cool. Good. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir.
See you
Enjoy
soon.
the rest of your day, and we'll catch you tomorrow.
For sure.
All right, sweet. Well, it's been me and Thero. That was Super Mario 64's 70-star League Division 1, Day 1. We got Celeste out of the way, Super Mario Odyssey. So what's happening now, Thero?
Oh, man. We have like a night full of showcases. A night full of showcases going on. Insane. So all throughout the night, you can check that out on the schedule.
Yep.
But we talked about it a little bit earlier. You've got Owlboy, you've got Titanfall, all of these different things going on. I don't know when I'm going to sleep. Like
you just can't.
You can't. Apparently not.
Yeah.
You know, I could have saved the money on the hotel and just stayed here and just watched everything that's going on. It's going to be absolutely sick. Because normally at this time, you and I are in the commentary booth and we're like, all right, have a good night. No, this is going on for 4 days.
Yeah, we got a lot of action in store, and coming up next, I believe, is Sonic Adventure 2 Battle.
Yes. Oh yeah. It's going to be lit, fam.
I love that game. The
I do
chows.
too.
It's really the chows that do it for me.
But watching the speedrun of the game, like Sonic's already fast.
Yeah.
And Mario's pretty fast, but doing a speedrun of Sonic is just dirty.
Yeah, it's a weird one. It's like
It is.
It's kind of broken.
It is really broken.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's what we do as speedrunners. We just got to break what we're playing
It's our job.
to go faster.
Absolutely.
But good. I definitely appreciate everybody hanging out for the SM64 stuff. You get to see our faces the next few days, so get used to that. But yeah, we're going to go ahead and turn it over and get set up for our showcases starting this evening. So we'll catch you guys in just a bit.
Peace.
Later.